channel really quick. Oh. Oh. There we go. Oh. There we go. Our gaming. Yet. Bose. Really use a Jagged Butcher. Jagged Butcher's nice because it just gets your gang going. Crazy how good a 1-mana 2/2 is. Like, you pretty much never plunder it. Add in a chain vest. A target, but I can't. Chain vesting a non. Or chain vesting a non faded unit. Care too much. The question is, do I flock right away or do I save it? Because the answer is we actually. Okay. They could have a guiding touch, I guess. Fair to just be dead if that's the case. Not the end of the world if they guiding touch it. Like, basically, every time you target a non-faded unit, that's pretty.
Nice to meet you. I'm Isla.
I think I'm dead here, though. Oh, no pump. Pretty interesting. I guess they're waiting for a block and then a pump. Which is... Block is kind of bad against another chain vest. Up Zed time.
What's that you got there?
Chain vest is so bad, right? Their plan is to just gem. Like, I don't mind saving the damage. I'm after anyway. Let's try blocking. Try to. Oh, it's my most loyal viewer. Shem, even on the non-Sundays. I like the block because I kind of almost want to create some. Almost like a chess game. I want to create some imbalance here, like just getting this damage could matter if I draw Scorched Earth. Even though they heal one down, it's pretty nice. It's gonna be really hard to win, I think, but legendary 72-hour stream. Yeah, probably only gonna be streaming for an hour or two since I'm kind of it's kind of the end of my day, but I would do some ladder. Okay, they drew a Zenith Blade. That is pretty unfortunate. So, it's not a terrible play just to attack with everything, but it's also not a good play. I could also just parlay the Nexus, which is okay. Sleepy Panda. I will never forsake you. Yeah, Shem is a legend. Do I really just parlay face? It's such a ridiculous play. But I really want to get this barrel off the board by using a slow action. Like, let's say they develop Taric or something. I want to be able to stun it and then not have the powder keg. The problem is, what? We have the attack on odds, so, like, we still can't even do it on our next attack. Okay, we drew the card. We drew the card. Oh, wow, another Zenith Blade. This is... I guess this is what you would expect. This is a little soft to... Interesting, like, this kind of play makes me think that it's more likely that they have Guiding Touch, because this is pretty bad into a Flock, right? Or a Scorched Earth with, like, you know, I expect my opponent to attack those cards. So that's fine. So we want to stun the non-damaged one, and also I'm not afraid of a Taric right here. This is pretty good. I mean, the next turn Guillotine might be disgusting. I can Guillotine after they Black Gangplank as well. It could be really nasty, but we need to remember that this actually got healed by a gem, so it only has 2 damage on it. It only has 2 damage on it, so Guiding Touch does not will save it. So we'll want to block this for at least 3. Okay. Get my Gangplank. I don't even care. It wasn't leveling up anyway. That's real. I could guarantee kill this now, but I think we just wait. We have what? 10 mana. Honestly, I don't mind passing. Kind of weird. I need to develop next round. Oh, Nick makes plays with the freaking 100 on the money raid. What up? What up, LOR? This is a no cam type of hour. Ruben up at this hour? It's 10 p.m. You know, I'm almost 30, but I'm not quite 30 yet, you know? Us people are still up at 10 p.m. Hyper Loki, what up? Good luck with my games. Oh, I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need it. I think we just pass. Honestly, Mirai Warden is okay too. They probably just pass back here, but I kind of need some luck. Like, I'm losing to Pantheon. I'm losing to most things. Okay, they actually develop. Kind of interesting. Now they can just pass into their next round, so we have to do something. I think the answer is Noxin and hope they don't have double Guiding Touch. What's nice is I could also, like, do a bait attack where I go Mirai into an attack. Maybe they can't block with the Pantheon. So they can't really be afraid of much. Just Make It Rain plus bonus, like, spell. Like, Make It Rain into unit damage into Flock. The question is, do we Mirai or not? I think we Mirai. Because we might... Ooh, a Forge Chief? Not a high roll, but a lot better than average, if that makes sense. Oh, okay. This is kind of what we wanted. They have Guiding Touch, we're probably still losing. If Pantheon goes well, they're probably still losing. I think they have a Guiding Touch. The way that they keep targeting, like, the unit that just dies to Flock. So it's definitely one Guiding Touch. So what we might want to do is we might want to block the White Flame before using our second Guillotine, because right now it's got 2 damage on it. Big Pirate's still looking solid. Big Pirate's always solid. I mean, it's actually funny. I think that Big Pirates is... Oh! Pantheon doesn't level up off that. Wait. Okay, I don't know why was anybody else just had a brain fart? I was expecting Pantheon to level up anyway, because the rally still happens. But yeah, the target doesn't happen. Yeah, it does fizzle. So this is weird, like... I guess we attack. Because we can threaten to Make It Rain if they block with Pantheon. Like, Make It Rain into Guillotine is really scary. They might have to hold up their Guiding Touch. We get to kill this. The thing is, like, if we actually kill this and they don't have a Guiding Touch, we get 3 more damage in, which is a lot of damage. But yeah, we go. We go. Yeah, I mean, the Forge Chief is great. It's way above average. It's not like a complete and utter high roll, like a... I don't even know. I guess maybe the 2-1 Elusive or something would be really good. Okay, so the question is, we wait till the damage happens? Wow, we are chilling here. If they well, Pantheon is gonna kill us next round, isn't it? Pantheon is definitely gonna kill us. Like, the odds are not in our favor, because it's gonna get in. Maybe they're scared. Okay, Chain Vest is a good play. Question? Oh, I missed a question. My bad. I don't think I missed a question. So, Chain Vest is always good because it takes one bad keyword away, potentially. So it's really good to use Chain Vest on your Pantheon, like just like my opponent's doing. So I'm just dead, right? I am just dead. I can block, and I have no outs, unfortunately. What if I don't play the guillotine and then they like don't attack again or something really? Then we are still dead because like our out is to draw like a sentry and then we're just dying. Pantheon? Anyway? Dead? Yeah, since we're dead no matter what, we might as well play it. I don't have an out. There's no out. I guess the out would be for them to like develop the Zenith Blade for some reason. Unalive. Yeah, this is a tough matchup. It's weird because the guillotines help, but it's hard. I guess we could also draw Twisted Fate. Okay. Dead. Unfortunate. Tough, pretty bad keyword. Well, tough is like Chain Vest is actually amazing. Like, and part of it is because it makes your Pantheon better. Tough is actually probably, it's weird. Like when you look at the random keyword pool, like tough is actually better rolls on something like Victor. Asking if you guys are working on this. If you use a champ from League to work with the detain type. Detain type. Exactly sure. Yeah, this matchup is pretty unwinnable if the opponent is good, so we'll see. We'll see how good this person is. Could almost keep Flock just to maybe like Mize and kill an Ahri. But we're developing Jagged Butcher on one here. Urgot? Urgot is interesting. Morgana? I mean, Morgana is like from Demacia, so that could be interesting. Some sort of like Shackling archetype. What's interesting is that it's actually possible that playing Jagged Butcher on round 2 is good here. But it's pretty easy for them to play around Make It Rain. We actually look for the trade here. It's weird with the Make It Rain, but one, this happens a lot. And two, we just need to get that off the board. Like, we don't want them to level it up. They could play like a Navori Conspirator too. There's a lot of ways that you get punished for not killing it. This is pretty unfortunate. Because they could just have a recall here. Oh, this is perfect. This is the kind of situation where I'm not sure if they should even play the cannon on round 1. I don't see the advantage of doing that. I guess the advantage is I don't have a Make It Rain. Okay, if I don't have a Make It Rain, they just get the cannon back for free and they kill the Jagged Butcher later. But this gives me a ton of initiative, which I don't always have in this matchup. Like now, we're getting another, we are getting another Gangplank activation because they're just going to try to cannon this again. And we're also getting the Harpoon, which gets through a Twin Disciplines here, which could be really nice. And I think we fire it off. So it's like interesting. So let's say we don't fire it off, okay? If we fire it off, like they can have recall, or either recall spell is good for them. Because it essentially trades mana and they heal the Ahri. If we wait, we actually have Wayfinder covered because we have Twisted Fate and Make It Rain. And if they, like, open attack, we can just wait. And we can also Twisted Fate into Harpoon. So we're actually going to pass. It's kind of interesting because taking away their spell mana is really good. Like, if they don't have spell mana, they can't Twin Disciplines, they can't Recall. They can't do very much. So actually, the Harpoon is an okay play. We're kind of telegraphing it here. We're going to wait, though. It's kind of weird because if they open attack or something, it's possible that we want to zap. Twisted Fate is really good. Gold card is really good when they have 2 units in play. Because a self-recall will still hit the other unit. So yeah, we've got a lot of options here. Like, I think we gold card. If they recall the Ahri, then Make It Rain will finish everything. Red card is okay too. This is actually a pretty good curve from the opponent. Just like playing it a little slow is generally good to Make It Rain deck. I think I will gold card. It just seems too enticing. And it's a good setup. They recall this, it's good. If they Twin Disciplines, this still gets stunned. Oh, it just dies. Oh, that's excellent. Maybe they have another Ahri. Another Ahri or Kennen is pretty good. It's fine, though. Do I block the 1/3 with my Jagged Butcher, right? Oh, they don't attack with it. Okay. Oh. Wow, we're at 3 out of 5 already because of the Jagged Butcher. Y'all can tell that Jagged Butcher... That's why it's called Big Pirates, is because you really want to get the Jagged Butcher. Any face cam? No. I could do a face cam. It's not like I'm like scared or anything. It's just kind of like I'm just chilling, you know? Man, what's crazy is I could Make It Rain here. Gets rid of all my spell mana, so I don't think it's worth it. And I don't have a clear follow-up. Though the clear follow-up is just an open attack, right? The clear follow-up is just an open attack. The problem is, alternatively, we could Make It Rain. Man, why is game so hard? Why is game so hard? Alternatively, we could just not, and then we've got double Monster Harpoon. So Make It Raining on our first action next turn. We can go double Harpoon next turn. I think we just Make It Rain. If we draw, what's nice here is we're just leaving ourselves open to like drawing a Gangplank. Getting damage on this and saying like, hey, whatever. Was it a Nopify? Oh, that is nuts. Nopify hits Harpoon, right? So that's just so good for us. A very minimal value play. Now we don't have an open attack. I talk about it a lot. Having an open attack is so strong. And I guess they deny the open attack. So I don't think it's a bad play or anything from opponent. I think it's a totally reasonable option. Now, unfortunately, we've used Twisted Fate and Make It Rain. So we are a little bit soft to a Kinku Wayfinder. So the question is, what do we do? I could attack with both. They could just block both, but it's really risky. Like, I kind of want my Twisted Fate to die. Totally fine if it dies. Or I could just play the Zap. Like, if I attack with both, I'm guessing the Fey Blade Twirler never blocked. It just seems really hard for me to imagine a scenario where the Fey Blade Twirler blocks. Maybe if they have, like, a Palm or something, it still seems like it could be good for me. And, like, their units are so much better than mine. Like, I want the Twisted Fate to die. The Jagged Butcher is just going to die as soon as they draw a Kennen. And I like the block. Getting the damage on the Blade Twirler is nice. Okay, getting damage on both is nice. They are denying me the Monster Harpoon. I think they're pretty solid play, but hopefully we can just get a Make It Rain or another Flock. Both are insane here. Obviously, a Wayfinder is, like, super problematic, but only so much we can do. Okay, they God Willow. So it's fine. It's like good for them that they got to eat something for free, but for leveling up Kennen, like using a God Willow on the Ahri and not like a Dancing Droplet or something or a Kennen means it's really hard for their Kennen to level up, right? Honestly, we could level up a Twisted Fate. It's not like so crazy that we wouldn't. This is focus. They could bounce, but we're just gonna play this. We could maybe level the Twisted Fate because we're gonna play 2 zaps, right? It seems pretty good for us. Seems pretty good. We're just gonna play it slow. In this matchup, I guess you'd rather slightly have Scorched Earth. Okay. Didn't draw a Gangplank this game. Gangplank is just winning this game, but we didn't draw it. Pinku, okay. I don't care that much. I really do not care that much, huh? So, here's what's interesting. What's interesting, that Ahri's gonna come down. I kind of want to have Harpoon ready for Ahri. So, the question becomes what, like, why is game so hard? Is game hard? Am I just a fish? Anybody in chat? No? Because, like, what do I even Death's Hand? Because you don't want to hit the Droplet because they can recall it, right? Don't really want to hit the Kennen either because they can recall it. Don't want to hit the Fade Blade Twirler because it's damaged already, right? It's like I've got 3 good Death's Hands targets. Maybe I open with Flock. No, but we want to get the Harpoon down. Let's hit the Kennen. If they recall it, they get to kill the Zap though. We just pass? This is too tough. This is literally too tough. Let's hit the Droplet. Because if they recall the Droplet this round, okay, yeah, it's bad for me in terms of card advantage, but they can't call it with Ahri because they only have 2 unit mana. Yeah, this is bad, right? This is just a bad play. Oh, Nopify is actually disgusting. Nopify is actually disgusting because now I can't Monster Harpoon. So yeah, the Nopify makes sense the last turn then, right? Because they're definitely just playing a they had 2 Nopifies in hand. This is looking good. I thought Wayfinder was gonna be bad, but it's not so good because right, we just Harpoon. We just Harpoon, right? Looks pretty good. We can bluff the Dancing Droplet. Really inefficient. It's really inefficient. Alternatively, we could zap and try to get a Make It Rain. But we're pretty likely to draw something else. Not the prettiest play. Not the prettiest play, and really tempo negative. And they have another Ahri coming down later. The question is, do I block? Do I block the Twisted Fate? I think I do. I think our odds of drawing another Twisted Fate versus leveling are... It's interesting, right? Because drawing, we need... Think of it this way, okay? This is time to share fundamentals here, as I love to do. I can only level up Twisted Fate by drawing another Twisted Fate. Oh, somebody mentioned I should wait for the attack. So, and if I draw another Twisted Fate, I can just red card, which is insane. So obviously we go this way. Yeah, no, somebody is right that I should wait for the attack. The problem is they could pass. But maybe that's just good for me? I don't know. I think they probably would know that I have something like that in hand. Okay, we just want to draw Twisted Fate and we win game, basically. We draw Flock. So I don't hate opening with the Zap. I don't see them having a good block here. Yeah, they could pass. So I think it's fine. I think we're losing. This matchup's really hard. Maybe we used our Twisted Fate too early. Yellow card, Twisted Fate. Just to kill an Ahri seems good, but maybe we can do better. Like, you have to wait for the Wayfinder. The problem is they never play the Wayfinder until you play Twisted Fate. Like, so yeah, that's kind of the problem. Okay, we attack. So the problem with this versus developing Zap is they do potentially sometimes just YOLO like a recall or a homecoming or something on the Zap. Okay, it gets in. Pretty important that it gets in. So we're really looking for Make It Rain. Actually, okay. Maybe we can win with a guillotine. It's not so good though. Okay, Flock is bad, but it's cheap. So, I could Harpoon something here. It doesn't seem that good, right? Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to Farron next round. And the Ahri's coming in. Yo, late? You're not late. This is our first game. Or is it our first game or our second game? Can't remember. No, it's our second game. Okay, if they develop, we get to stun Ahri or Cannon, which are both good. I think stunning Ahri seems kind of bad because this is gonna die anyway. And I'd rather like stun Flock. Cannon, and the Cannon is gonna kill the Zap if it attacks, but stunning the Cannon is bad because they can recall it. This is just kind of like this specific matchup is just rough because the ball is really in their court. Like everything you would do can be bad, but they have like more inevitability than you, as you can see. So it's like kind of have to try stuff, and normally you get blown out. So maybe they have another recall. I mean, they haven't played any self recalls, so they probably have another recall for Cannon. So maybe actually we do stun the Ahri. As bad as that seems. But we'll try it this way. Try it this way. I think that we have to go for the higher value play and just let the Ahri go. I think I will jump block the Ahri if I get the opportunity. Well, I'll trade for this. So this actually could go well for us. Only we drew GP earlier. I mean, yeah, it's card games, right? Like we had the tools to level up GP, but not GP, and that's kind of how it works. Like the more leveled your GP is, the less likely you are to have a GP because you drew the cards that level them up. But yeah, I think we Flock. It's kind of weird. I want to Flock the Cannon, but I can do so on my next action. I could also just let this die. Like, it's so weird what's relevant now. My life total is relevant. And that's pretty much it, honestly. I wonder if I do something like this. Because I've got Overwhelms to win game. Got Overwhelms. So we just block as much damage as we can. So I messed up, obviously. The Zap went on the wrong thing. So I guess we just Flock here. No. I don't know. Probably. I thought my gameplay was leveled up. Actually, not gonna hold you on that. Still recalls. Which still recalls? Oh, the Ahri didn't recall. I think it died because we don't see it revealed, right? I can't Flock because then they can recall. Ephemeral Ahri. Yeah, they've got the burst speed recall. Yeah. I mean, we're just dead. I mean, it just is exactly what it is. And, like, Farron is never good enough because they always have, like, a palm or something. Ahri recall droplet. Well, it's part of the, part of her strike is for it all to happen, right? So this all resolves. Yeah, I mean, we're just dead. I've played this matchup so many times, and so many times it's like feels like you're maybe close, but you're really not. You're basically, you need to put your opponent in positions where they're like could make a mistake, basically. And that's hard for that to work. Maybe I'm supposed to just jam a Flock on the Cannon, honestly, and because Navori Conspirator is a good out, but yeah, pretty tough. Pretty tough to say. I wonder if gold card is just bad. Gold card on the, like, gold card on the Ahri. I can't really wait on the Twisted Fate though. I guess I just play 2 zaps, right? That's the mistake. Wait for the Kinku. The problem is if the Kennen is already leveled up, like red card doesn't do anything against the Kinku. It's just a pretty tough line no matter what. Okay. Okay. Maybe we survive? Actually, is it possible for us to survive here? Just put a lot of resources down on defense. Like, they just put a lot of resources down on defense. They're gonna open attack, actually. Kind of increases our odds to live. I actually like... Did I win? Very bizarre. I feel like they over-committed defensive resources there, but... Do you think I want to Death Hand something? Question is, what do we Death Hand? I block. Unfortunately, Captain Farron. It doesn't actually die to Twin Disciplines. It does die to Twin Disciplines. Which is quite likely. So I just press OK, right? Just always press OK. And try to kill next round? Very, very weird. They put a lot of defensive resources down, and then they didn't threaten to kill me. Do we win? Just win? I mean, I guess they probably have more wills and stuff. I kind of want to save stuff. Like, I want to save Death's Hand and Monster Harpoon to potentially fizzle a Homecoming, right? Maybe we're just chilling here. Very weird. I do want to play the Death's Hand because it's 1 more damage. But I also don't want to die to 2 Twin Disciplines, so I don't know. This feels probably wrong, but... I don't want to target the Tail of Dragon, right? I need to save removal for that. Maybe we start with Decimate. We start with Decimate. Because that'll make the Monster Harpoon cheaper. And level up our Gangplank. If I win, that's nuts. If I win, that's just a misplay by them. I mean, I'm not saying I will, but like... Okay. Super bizarre. So they want to get the palms back. That's what they're saying. The problem with that is if I just YOLO a Monster Harpoon, Twin Disciplines doesn't actually stop this. Like if I Death's Hand... I wonder if I can let them have 1 palm back? It seems very weird to use Monster Harpoon in a mana inefficient way. But I think I will. What if they just have Twin Disciplines here? And we just win? Because we can use this for overwhelm damage, right? With the Gangplank. Show me, show me. Okay. Got a full deny there. Okay.
Your king has returned.
Okay. They only have 2 other cards left. Probably 1 is a Twin D. Or like an Absolver or something.
I gotcha.
But yeah, if they have another recall, then we're screwed. We can beat Twin D. Got 1 palm in hand. Yeah, if they have another... Wait. Why are they not returning these? Am I missing something? They returned... What did they return with the first Conspirator? Okay, they're looking... Okay. Wait, I like where this is going. Maybe they have another Conspirator to bounce 1. And then another palm. Oh my god, dude. Let's fucking go. They're dead? Let's fucking go! Oh my god, taste it!
This'll do for now.
Big pirates, baby! We just did enough. We did just enough there. Wow. After all that, it was just a dub. What should I send? Honestly, I don't know. I think, like, maybe they just spaced that they could, Power of Roping? I guess. Whatever, I'll rope all day if it means I make the right plays and win. I don't find that insulting, so. Rope is there to be used, my friends. Wow. Wow, the 6 mana. After all that, the 6 mana Monster Harpoon. Is there anything we can do to make that matchup actually better? What about, like... That sound weird. What about, like, Hired Gun? What if you just, like... You know... Controlled the board early? Matchup is just doomed, right? Rack's greater than Farron. Death Lotus? Yeah, you just can't play Death Lotus because it makes your zap not really work the way it work. Okay, I guess we'll play until we lose, and then we'll switch. If I play against more Ari Cannon, though, maybe I switch up. I mean, my other Pantheon also loses the Ari Cannon, so maybe I don't need that. Pick a card? Yeah, it's... Would help. Because leveling up your TF, but that's just like a different deck, I think. And there are decks that do that better than this deck. Sunk cost, yeah. Okay. Man, these matchups are tough. These matchups are tough. Gangplank in the opener. Honestly, I think we maul. I just want to get units. And I want to get... Guillotine. And we want to be ahead. That last game where they just went, like... Goat into Chain Vest, into Dragon, and I couldn't do anything. It was rough. So we could open here. I think we actually play Mirai Warden. It's tough because, like, Goat Chain Vest is quite bad for us. But the upside of the extra damage is super, super strong here. Okay, big high roll. We get an elusive. Chain Vest here, I don't care. Really good trades. I guess it's weird because this costs you 1 mana every time it strikes. So it's like, you know, maybe just a 2/1 is better there. Oh, they just open pass. They might have one of those fail state hands. Yeah, they go frowny face. Ooh, gem.
Hide for a moment, run forever.
Yeah, we have no ways of damaging our enemy units. So do I gem here? Is it worth the damage? I spread it out, obviously. They probably have a Pantheon. Okay, our hand is dreadful, but we're way ahead. I mean, I'm guessing they have a champion. They're sad pouring, but I'm guessing they have a champion, right? Yeah, it's like... Obviously they have a champion. Do I full bank? I want 8 next turn. Having this as a soft pass is really good. We can get punished if we specifically draw like Gangplank or some 5-mana card. Wow. Okay, we're a little top heavy here. Gods will no war, but the Pantheon is 0, right? Just like it looks bugged to me. When I look here, I'm like, oh, it's leveled up already, but it's actually 0, right? I could even potentially spew one of these 2 guillotines. Sharp Sight. Okay. Okay. I mean, this is a lot of damage. Oh, what up? Good day. It's a lot of damage and our hand doesn't do anything, unfortunately. So, as sad as this is, I'm just gonna fire off 1 guillotine, right? They have a guiding touch. We have to get it out of the hand. Kind of keys them into maybe us having a second one, which is unfortunate, but I literally can't play the game, fortunately. And the second one might be kind of a blowout. They're at 8, so they can't just not block. I guess we want to draw Make It Rain. Oh, we drew it. Okay. Maybe Twisted Fate was better for just gold card attack. But Make It Rain, we have 9 mana, so we can Make It Rain, Flock, and Guillotine, right? This is really rough, because they could... Open attack seems pretty good, because none of their blocks are actually good. But we kind of need to... We kind of need to live now. We don't have quite enough damage, and we just need to play a Farron. So maybe we do Make It Rain. So here's the good part about Make It Rain is if I guillotine, if they have damage from blocking and then I guillotine and they have another guiding touch, Make It Rain then trumps, which is very important. So maybe we do just open. It's just weird because like there's some magical Christmas land scenario where I kill everything and put them to 1 here. But I feel like I have to play, like, just let them block stuff. And like I said, this is quite good against another guiding touch. Quite good. Watch what's gonna happen. We have Guiding Touch covered. If they have a Chain Vest as well, they're screwed, but look. See, this is why we play conservatively. Because now we're just fucking winning. We're winning hard. Wow. Let's go! And the Pantheon just dies. So we saved 3 spell mana there. Kind of. Do I play the Mourned? I have no 7-drops in the deck. Having a soft action is good or bad? I guess it's good. Next round. Got Twisted Fate blue card into a 3-drop. You know I have it. Just play it. Especially if they want to open pass next round. Oh my god. I mean, we're just gonna lose because we drew all of our 8-drops, I guess. Okay, all Guiding Touches are gone. That's super good news. Maybe they have a Pantheon or something. But yeah. Okay. They just have no units. So we just win, probably? Pantheon isn't even leveled here. It doesn't even do anything? Wow. Sure. So we played around 2nd Guiding Touch. We turned on the brakes exactly when we needed to. Didn't get blown out by it. Now we're just totally winning. Let's go, dude. Out of Demacia Targon. Maybe it's fine. I think I switched to the third guillotine. So Cameron snipes me. Let's see, is Cameron in the chat? Okay, we're safe. I mean, there's just infinite Demacia Targon. There's just so many Demacia Targon decks right now. Even though I think it's correct to have a split, because you have Zap, and drawing one of each is always superior, because, like, that just covers a lot more matchups. Ruben and Big Pirates. Yeah. You know what card feels really bad in this meta is Monster Harpoon. 3 is coming. We'll just kill them on turn 8, but yeah, it's possible that 3 is coming. Yeah, maybe I just do it the other way, I don't know. I have not been a big fan of Croaker. Anybody else a fan of Croaker? Like, it seems like it should be good, because it's just a 2/2 that draws you a card, but... You know what we just played Krusty Codger? Like, so many games, I'm like, I want a Jagged Butcher on turn 1, so I can play aggro. I don't think it would be that bad. And if you draw both Jagged Butcher and Codger, then you can save the Jagged Butcher for it to be a 3/3, though, like, you never 3/3 Jagged Butcher in this deck. And when you do, it's just not relevant, because you don't control the board in a way where it makes a difference, if that makes sense. Shell Shocker, yeah, Shell Shocker has 1 health, so I don't actually think that it's good enough, you know? Like, I used to play Dreadway Deckhand, but that was when there was a lot of Poppy Zed, so pumping up your Make It Rains and Death's Hands was really good. You ever play BMM? So the problem with BMM is you just don't plunder reliably, and you don't plunder at burst speed. Okay? So that's something to think about, which is something to, like, easily discredit, where it's like, well, you have Death's Hand and Make It Rain, but being able to plunder at burst speed with Warning Shot, and cards like Crackshot Corsair, which kind of let you get there no matter what, make it a lot better, since it's good on defense and offense, right? You know, what if we do? I'm looking at this Hired Gun card. Like, especially if these Demacia Targon decks are just, like, gonna play 1 unit. Having Hired Gun on it is so good, because it means all of a sudden you can, like, challenge it with the Spider. You can challenge it with, Farron or something. And then against the, like, Ari Kennen deck, you just have early game presence, which is what you need. You need to force them into playing into Make It Rain and Twisted Fate and stuff. So, like, I guess you're losing the upside of a card, which the idea is that it just thins you out to Gangplanks and Farrons. What would you consider the best Big Pirates version? I mean, this is the list that I have literally played, right? People probably know. Hashem probably knows. This is, like, the exact list I've always played. The only difference is that I took out, instead of 2 Scorch Earth, I'm playing 3 Guillotines, and I added a 3rd, which, honestly, I think that this is bad. Like, y'all noticed already. I have too many kill damage stuff cards, but not enough cards that deal damage. You're not playing Sejuani, so you just can't play Warning Shot in this deck. A lot of people are asking about it. I guess I'll explain why that is, since I'm not gonna assume that everybody knows. I'm sure that most people know. But the reason that you can't play Warning Shot, like, is... So, Warning Shot works because of Sejuani. When you have Sejuani in your deck, it's just worth it to Warning Shot on round 1. But then also, when you draw Warning Shot later in the game, it's one of your best draws. because when you have a Sejuani in play, right, Warning Shot frostbites their whole team at burst speed, guaranteed. So it's just like, I guess it's weird to say because it's good in this other deck, but it's just really not a playable card unless you have reasons to play it, and Gangplank is not enough of a reason to play it. Sejuani is. I used to play Fizz TF, and in Fizz TF, Warning Shot was great, because Warning Shot was really good with Fizz, because it's a 0 mana spell, and also turned on House Spider not as good. Well, do you mean compared to Mirai Warden? Yeah, maybe I could cut all the Crocus for House Spiders. I mean, the problem is, one, like, when you draw multiple of the units that make units, like, your board gets full really fast. Two, blocking is not a very strong route right now to get damage on things. Because of Chain Vest, because Ari Kennen has quick attack and elusive, because it just isn't. But I could see House Spider. But anyway, James asked for the best list. This is probably, it's weird. I think you have one too many like Harpoon/Guillotines, but because Guillotine is so good against Demacia Targon, I'm just playing 3. Like, fundamentally, having 3 Guillotines changes the matchup, right? Like, you saw last game, I killed both champs, and then they just couldn't play the game. But you have to be careful about Guiding Touch. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we just keep playing, huh? I really want to cut Croaker, though. Did we ever play Petty Officer? Is that ever, like, what we put in? If you do get to Croaker and draw a card, and it's not, like, detrimental to you, it's a pretty positive effect. Just because it, like, it just gets you to more answers. Well, how about Line 'em Up? Yeah, you could play Line 'em Up. I just don't have that much experience with it. It's just such a weird card, right? I mean, Line 'em Up is good with TF, but it's good with TF in a way where I want to be reactive and then put pressure on exactly at the right moments. And the problem that I think Line 'em Up probably has, where the heck is Line 'em Up? Do I not own it? Is that having to, like, commit this into a Twisted Fate, it's just very, if they have the answer, if they have the Pokey Stick or whatever, it's tough. Yeah, what if crowd favorite? You know what? It's actually an interesting idea. Like, basically, you could play this with House Spiders, Petty Officers, and crowd favorites or something. It's just not reliable enough. Like, basically, I think there are better decks that do that. Wait, what about Grumble Slug? Is Grumble Slug? There's no way it's better than Croaker, right? Like, you're oftentimes on full mana and you already have attune problems with your 2 attune cards. Okay, we're just gonna play more. I don't know. That's what happens whenever I look at the deck. I don't actually know, like, what change I'm gonna make. Yeah, that's a good point, where Line 'em Up deals damage. I could see Line 'em Up being good. Do you really want to draw that off Zap, though? I mean, I guess worst case scenario, it's just a 3 mana. So bad. I'm gonna say it's like a Mystic Shot, but it's really not. It's a lot worse than that. Petty seems terrible. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, we just get the rematch. So, I actually like Croaker here. Do I? Round 3, 2/2. Draws me a card. Versus drawing to hit like a Jagged Butcher or Guillotine or something. How good is the 2/2? Just isn't good at all, right? And they might goat and trade, and then we have to kill you. Yeah, we just mulligan the Croaker. I don't know. I don't know how to play with the Croaker. I don't know what it's supposed to do. I don't know what it's not supposed to do. It's supposed to just be consistent, I guess. So we're gonna go for the Mirai, obviously, for the high roll.
Nice to meet you. I'm Isla.
Pretty bad.
I've got this.
Like, obviously we want a 2-1. If we get a 1-1, we want something with utility. But, you know how it goes. Oh, they just pass? They don't want to trade this here. They don't have a Zenith Blade. I guess if they do have a Zenith Blade, they're playing around Death's Hand. If I play House Spider and they have a Zenith Blade, it's not terrible for me because they're putting it on a non-faded unit. Man, this... It's crazy because this pass back means I don't have to face a leveled up Pantheon until 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they don't have the attack token on 8. So it's like weird because from my perspective, it's amazing for me if they have no spells. Maybe they have a Zenith Blade here that they're not playing. If I play a House Spider, they will play it. But I'm not getting the mana back ever if I don't play the House Spider, so I just play it? Kind of weird. I expect them to do something now. No, okay. Because I guess sometimes they just have nothing. And that's kind of the trick, right? So we need to be careful here. They play Blinded Mystic. So like zapping, open zapping is not nearly as effective. So I think we just attack with these. Guarantee our Gangplank damage without losing too much. And yeah, the round 8 is the Pantheon round, right? And then we zap. Kind of want to draw a Make It Rain. We just want to, like I said, we just want to spread damage. Sharp Sight. Yeah, see, this is kind of weird where, like, if you expect them to pump, you want to attack with the 1/1s. But they just don't have to pump if you don't. So let's say they have a Pantheon, and we attack with the 1/1s. They just block here. They get to pump the Pantheon. Okay, we're going to zap. We're going to zap. It's kind of weird. Now that I zap, they have to think, okay, much more likely to have a Ravenous Flock, right? Which is kind of interesting, because now they're going to Zenith Blade. Wow, this is a super interesting line. So we just have it again, right? We flock. They go for Guiding Touch, and we have the Make It Rain finish. So strong. They should do this right away if they're going to do it. I guess I have less mana now, but I've got Plunder activated. Is it even worth it? They've already targeted something this round. But the flock is pretty unreliable, and we have the Guillotine. And we also have the Sentry. Remember how sick Farron is at just winning. And they're gonna Guiding Touch, and we're gonna Make It Rain. We're gonna say, hello, my friend. We always have it. I always have it. But here's the thing about these kind of plays. When you're playing at super high level, like, your opponent kinda always has it, because... Oh, that was without Daybreak. So, like, there's this thing. One time, my good friend Mike Sigrist, I don't know if anybody knows him from Magic, we were playtesting, and he bestowed me the greatest honor that a pro CCG player can say to another one, and he says that you always have it. And the reason that's such an honor is because basically, like, when somebody quote-unquote always has, like, they're, oh, so lucky, Ruben, you have the Make It Rain there. It's like, you know, it's very telegraphed because I'm playing in such a way that it exists in my hand and that it's favorable for me, right? So that's kind of how that works. So this is weird. I guess we just Sentry this. We're going super wide. But yeah, that's kind of the idea of they always have it. And now... So, like, they haven't targeted anything again. I don't get it. How do they not target anything? Like, I think flocking here is actually... I think it's good if... Yeah, we just pass, right? We just pass. Like, there's not much that saves it, okay? Oh, is sound off? It might be off. I need to talk loudly. I need to talk loudly because I put some filters on my mic, which actually make it sound a lot better, but if I don't talk at the minimum threshold, you don't hear me. It's not off. I just don't get it. How do you not gem? There's no Pantheon in hand? I guess they're telling me there's no Pantheon in hand, which is good to know. So we just take it. So now we're in a spot again where, oh, that Twisted Fate is so good. Just anything that spreads damage is so good. So, like, do I ever consider just censuring here? Since we know they're light on units, right? We know they're light on units. If they play like a Pantheon, I guess we want to save this for like a Pantheon eventually. I think we attack with everything now. Because we're in the, like, if they're blocking my 1/1s, they're taking way too much damn. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Big pirates, baby. Sure. Not even like a pale. Don't really care, to be honest. We do need to still be careful about Taric Rally. That's the crazy thing. We know. So here's what we know, y'all. We know. It doesn't seem like they have a Pantheon in their hand. They probably have Zenith Blades, right? What's wild here is I'm almost far enough ahead where just passing is good. But because I have 2 stuns in my hand, I think I do develop the red card. Right? Like, next turn I can play both, though, I guess. So maybe we do wait. Everything is winning. So we just have to be careful not to get, like, tempoed out randomly. So maybe we just gold card? Because they've already targeted once? And if they develop, like, a Taric? No, we just pass. They're going to pass back, but I just value being able to maybe damage more things. There's the Taric. So we just gold card, right? Do we gold card? Everything is winning. He has gem. Yeah, it's possible that blue card is right. Man, this deck wants a 6 or 7 drop so badly, by the way. How about Gangplank at 3? They have a gem, so the red card is like meh. I think we start off with a gold card. Because as long as we keep the Taric stunned, they can't double rally, and the Farron is just going to be a lot to handle. The only problem right now is the Guillotine is not... So, I like this line because we can flock this through guiding, right? That's what's really nice here. Flock. Flock. See what we get here. Hail? Okay. How much damage is on this? Should have blocked with TF, by the way. Probably. Don't need Gangplank. So it's weird. Like, we want... Maybe I hold on to the Guillotine. Obviously, it's good at results, but I don't care about these non-champion, non-overwhelm units. So I think I flock because... I mean, the guiding, it still goes to 1. Like, it doesn't fizzle the damage part of it.
Gotta trust your instincts.
And then we can still Guillotine. Or a single combat. I actually do not give a crap about single combat. Every single combat in my opponent's hand makes it easier for me to win, huh? So now here's what's interesting, is I could... This is never worth, right? Like, we have to be thinking, like, what hands are we losing to? It's like Pantheon. Pantheon into, like, Concerted or something. Pretty bad. I don't think we just ever Guillotine here. Just never do it, right? It's so tempting because what it does is it means double decimate is lethal, right? And we're never getting more damage on something anytime soon. So yeah, we could kill everything, but these other units don't matter. These other units don't matter, Steve. So we're good. We're basically gonna save the 2/2. So what this will do is the Farron is threatening a lot. The 2/2 is threatening to put them into decimate range. We're gonna bank 2 mana. So on round 9, we're gonna have enough mana to do 2 decimates. And this should be good. Like Pantheon, Gem into like another thing, like could be enough. But you know, we can only do so much. And we still might win through a Pantheon if it doesn't get like Lifesteal and then Scout and Elusive. Like they need to hit like everything they need. Pre-recorded? I missed what happened. It was a gem. They can trade. They can put all the buffs into this they want. They can concerted this. All these effects I'm happy with because it means they're not Pantheoning me. And then if they Pantheon next round, we can always Sentry it, right? So this is going in a favorable way for us. It looks like they probably have a concerted strike here, to be honest. Because why would they gem first? Doesn't make any sense. Like Zenith Blade draws them another Zenith Blade potentially. I think we attack with everything because even, well, the concerted strike, they eat both of these. Maybe that's not so good. I was gonna say getting damage on this matters, but it really doesn't. They played 2 sharp sights, so attacking with these doesn't really play around that much. It's probably just a concerted angle. This is feeling pretty good. We force the concerted, force it, and then we've got the decimate lethal. Opponent has to do something. They've used their concerted, so like, you know, if Pantheon comes down with lifesteal, we can still stun it. Maybe, like, obviously, yeah, it might have spell shield, but actually kind of interesting if they play Pantheon. If the better play is to decimate or to play the stun spider.
It was in the cards.
It's not. Yeah, it's definitely not live. Have you ever tried Teemo Tristana? No. Maybe we should go back to the battering ram. I really like battering ram. Really like battering ram. Jack is just really bad because your units are pressure. So, like, imagine sleeping with the fishes. Like, imagine using this on, like, a 2-1. You're not actually netting damage. Like, the reason that Pirates can get away with Jack the Winner is it's not trying to, like grind you out and win a late game, generally. Oh, we could play Shelly. Oh, wait, we could play Kato the Arm. That could put some pressure on. Honestly, you know a card could be hilariously playable. What about a Gangplank? Just what about actual factual Gangplank? You develop this before your Gangplank? Look at the 7 drops. Yeah, like this, you would play Smooth Soloist. I've looked at the 7 drops. You would play Smooth Soloist, I think. Like, I think that Savage Wreck, obviously, like, you can't really play Shipwreck Hoarder. You could actually maybe play Shark Trainer, but it's just too, what's the word? If you don't have Mayor, you can't play this because, you know, it's just, like, imagine you have the attack on round 8. Like, and then the Shark Trainer is just basically not impacting the game. Savage Reckoner is similar. I like Smooth Soloist in general. I played a lot of decks with her in the past. And it's just good. Like, it just has a good effect, right? And it's also elusive, so it's like it's almost like more relevant than like other random shit. I guess there aren't that many 7 drops. Well, I also mulligan it away. We could try the Smooth Soloist, because weirdly, like, making your Farron cost 6 and then your Sentry cost like 1, like, actually does do something. Or making your Gangplank cost 3, like, it lets you have, like, the problem with Farron is, like, it's very risky. It's often like you're playing it and it's gonna end the game for one player or the other. Either you get tempoed out, or it's just like too much damage. The problem with Soloist is, yeah, you're not reliable enough. You do have Death's Hand and you do have Make It Rain. But you don't have like Warning Shot. You don't have like Unspeakable Horror or anything that like directly goes to the Nexus for cheap. I guess we just keep playing. My Panth build is Nessie. Thank you, Taurus. I do have to give credit where it's due, where I got the initial list from Alan. And I did change a few cards that I thought were bad. I do think right now, I'll be honest, that I'm not saying that like it won't work because it got you to Masters. Congrats. But I think the non-solo versions of Pantheon, not with Taric, since I just don't think it's good, but maybe the Shyvana versions are good because right now, like, people are playing a lot of Blinded Mystics and Minimorphs. And what that means is you need more threats in your deck, right? Oh, I want to keep the Gangplank, but I have Attack Token on round 6. Though Attack Token, like, you can't really attack with Gangplank in this matchup, right? Because it's just like, you can just block it with a 3-drop. What changes? I think my list was pretty publicly on like Runeterra.ar, but I think I cut like a Laurent Protege, and I think I cut a Strafing Strike and a Laurent Protege for a Golden Aegis, and another card that I can't remember. Do I really keep a Make It Rain? It's not that good against them, but it does damage units. And I remember what we said about damaging units. We really want to damage units. Okay, we've got a good hand. We do Jagged Butcher into open attack. We have no way to block this. We get the Gangplank level up. We get a 3/3 Jagged B. Maybe we turbo level Gangplank. Oh, Max with the raid? People don't need to raid me, but I do appreciate it. Okay, it's gonna be a White Flame. So, do we Make It Rain here, or do we play it slow? Make It Rain is kind of nice next round because it activates Plunder. But there is the dream of having Gangplank on round 6 attacking. That's going to be tough. We get damage in now on 3. We get damage in with Jagged Butchers attacking on 4. We get Make It Rain on 5, and then we need like another damage still. I think we pass. It seems so mediocre. But I think this is the same situation where if they don't... Oh, yeah, I don't think so, my friend. I don't think so. No. I was gonna say, like, we want to save this so we can damage other stuff, too. Is it an open, or is it just the 3/3? But anyway, what I wanted to say was that, look at this. Once again, we've got Pantheon. Attack token on 7 and 9, but they can't level up on 7. So we've got a lot of time here to develop our plan. I think we should just open, though. Get the damage on it. I feel like Make It Raining into a kind of empty board is bad. Maybe there's like a concerted or a single. Okay, this is fine. And what's nice here is getting the third damage on the White Flame is good. Anybody in chat know why the third damage is good? Just checking to see if anybody's listening. Because of Guiding Touch. They just jammed a Guiding Touch. We have nothing to do here, so we just pass. It would be a really smart play, maybe, to develop a Pantheon here. But yeah, we have no great ways of using mana there, unfortunately. Guiding Touch. So we might get soloed by this, unfortunately. I think I'm okay passing if they pass. I could also just play the Gangplank. This is one of those weird situations where, like, this is probably too good of a pass for them not to take. But I can't really afford to play the Gangplank because then that just eats it. And now we can play the Gangplank now, which is pretty nice. But I really want to wait to make it rain until they have more units in play, potentially. And, you know, we're going after the life total, but we're also going after our win conditions, which are, like, damaging enemy units. Is, like, one of our win conditions. Okay, this could be a single angle. It looks like it might be. We just pass. Gangplank just sits around. Gangplank's just a landmark. Wow, so these barriers are going to expire next round. And I've got double Make It Rain. This could be really dangerous for them. It could be really dangerous. Really, Tan's missing a flock for sure. And our Gangplank is a bit under-leveled here, obviously. Because we decided, remember, we decided on round... Was it round 3? That we weren't just going to fire the Make It Rains, because we're waiting for this exact moment. What's nice about this is it might force something. It's kind of weird. We actually... Like, we don't care about the Protector. We'd almost rather go Nexus. So not getting Nexus there is, like, a little unfortunate. But we're probably going to go... We're going to do the play, right? We're going to go Guillotine and then have this still in the bank, in the back pocket, in case there's the Guiding Touch. In case there's the Guiding Touch. So I think we fire it off now because they could open. We don't want to give them an act. We want the extra action, right? And we don't want them to develop a unit because then our Make It Rain might miss. So we will kill the Pantheon here. Super happy with this. If they have a Guiding Touch into a Chain Vest, that does get us. But I believe we will be able to maybe Monster Harpoon in that case. So we're looking for the Guiding Touch. We want to get it out. Second touch out. There's no way they use the first touch there without having the second, but you know, if they play this matchup a lot, they would know that they should just never play the Guiding Touch. Because this is just brutal. I mean, if they have the third one, it's not even that bad for me, because they can't attack with the Zenith Blade. They can't attack with the White Flame because I block and then I use the other thing. Sure. This is like, looks bad, but is okay because we can block and harpoon this. But it is actually a little unfortunate that they have interaction here because I don't get the other Fervor, but I'm gonna use the harpoon. I guess they could have a Chain Vest, huh? But it goes to 1 health. I think it's worth to try. And we don't let the damage resolve. Does it matter? It doesn't really matter. It probably is a Chain Vest, honestly. But if it's not, we're chilling. Wow, okay. So what's nice about this is we're going to be able to, you know, hopefully we don't just die this turn and we can start to Sentry Pantheons. Yeah, we play Farron. If they don't block, we have, like, Lethal Decimates, though we're on 8. We have no spell mana. A little unfortunate. Unfortunate. Okay, that's what we like to see. I mean, Hush. Oh, Hush. Why would you play Hush in this deck? It's illegal. Wow.
My duty's done.
You know, I mean, people are fine to have their own tech choices or whatever. I just think it's super sus. Like, compare that to a single. Compare it to a blinded mystic that targets your own units and develops your own win condition. Compare it to a concerted strike or golden aegis. You know. Yeah, Hush is good in the mirror. Okay, that makes sense. We have been playing against this deck a lot, so I'm not trying to, you know, suggest that it is completely bad to play Hush. I just don't understand it because it seems like there are better options. I guess you can target your own units with it too. Level up your Pantheon. So we need to be careful here. We need to be careful. This can't attack yet, right? We're scared of the Pantheon. And if the Pantheon gets Scout and Spell Shield, we kind of want to have 2 stuns up, right? Kind of want to have 2 stuns up. How likely is it to get Scout and Spell Shield? Not that likely. If we pass, they probably pass back, though, and, like, weirdly, we're not putting enough pressure on, right? So I think we just Sentry. Red card looks okay as well. Honestly, the Dreadway is good too, because it just makes our Decimace lethal. They could have a Concerted, but they need another unit for that to work. This is really tough. Is the Gangplank leveled? It's not. Okay, let's just Sentry. I don't love this play. This play is weak, but I was running low on time. Maybe we red card just to get it damaged. Maybe we blue card for the mana. It's kind of weird. I still want to save the Twisted Fate because it can stun a Pantheon, right? And that's my lose condition right now. Maybe we just Decimate for mana efficiency's sake? It lets them maybe develop a Pantheon or something, which I don't love. I guess we just do it. The Pantheon is like...
Soak it in.
If they develop it now, we can probably lethal next round. Okay, and this is really nice. Maybe this is loose, actually. I don't know. Bastion? Interesting. That just screams Judgment, right? Does that not scream Judgment? Wait. It would have had enough to do both, though. We just have to be careful we don't punt here. I think we can afford to Broker. Because we do want to draw interaction. Ooh, double Sentry is interesting. I can use the first Sentry to get the Spell Shield off. Or I can just make a 1 mana play. That seems really strong. I'm pretty scared of Judgment, actually. I don't really have a good way of getting around it other than putting a bunch of resources that I don't want to put down. We play the Jagged Butcher. It's a really good draw, actually. It just is a free pass. This is the Pantheon. Okay, so see what they get. So here's another thing that's really good is that they didn't get lifesteal. Really nice for us. Nice for us. They are they aren't a Cataclysm deck, right? They're a Golden Aegis deck, which maybe they're setting up. So we just Sentry this. We might lose, which is crazy, right? Wild. So yeah, why Bastion? What was the pre-Bastion for? Do they have another Bastion? They just have a Judgment, right? It just is a Judgment? Very strange. Very strange. We could just die now, because it did get Scout, unfortunately. Yeah, maybe the misplay? Oh wait, this isn't stunned. Oh, did it have Spell Shield? I just didn't notice. I just literally didn't notice that it had Spell Shield. I guess in that case, oh, that's rough. That's rough. Man, do I really just lose to a judgment here? Is that where we're at with our lives? Can't do this, right? No. I think I need to save the sentry for like a golden aegis. They could have a golden aegis now, though. Oh, this is really suspect. Okay, here's what we do. We're gonna get rid of the Twisted Fate. Oh! Oh no! Fuck! Fuck. Okay, we might lose now. What? What the hell is going on? Yeah, we might die now. We might just die. I mean, I can't... It's just a misclick, right? Yeah, we just die. Unfortunate. I mean, that's just dumb. I mean, we basically what I was gonna do was I was gonna stun it and then attack, right? But we just didn't. We just unfortunately did not get to do that. And now we lose. That really sucks. But I was fast enough. I swear I had enough time. I mean, there's nothing I can do. They have a rally, so I always die. Wait, can I block the Taric and go to 1 life if I play Dreadway? Man, that's a shame. That's a shame. This was a win. This was supposed to be a win, huh? I mean, technically not dead to rally. If they have another unit, I'm dead to it, obviously. If the Dreadway blocks, I go to 2. So do I pass, or do I just play 1 Decimate? Guess I play 1 Decimate, huh? This is silly. I mean, I'm not even tilted. I'm just confused. I roped too long. Okay, they have it. Okay, we're gonna find out. We also lose to a single. I mean, we're just dead, right? Maybe we're not. Maybe we live.
To protect all.
Very silly. Yeah, we lose. 3rd sharp side, actually.
There is nowhere left to go.
Unfortunate. Well, Kaido with the raid. Rough. That is tough. I mean, that is like... So the interesting thing that happens there is we just win if they don't have a judgment. And even if they do, we don't lose, right? So that was pretty tough. That was pretty tough. It was unfortunate. Well, I didn't know. First rally should be on Taric. It was just a comedy of things. I didn't see that the Pantheon had Spell Shield, right? Did not see that the Pantheon had Spell Shield, which is obviously like a meme, right? Because it's like kind of hard to tell when they have so many things. Hello, Rebel Doc. Man, that is disappointing. We were destroying kids. Could have blocked. Oh, did I not block the Farron? Or did I not block the Taric the first time? Yeah, why didn't I block that? No. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Nothing I did made sense. I was just so baffled that I didn't get the sentry in play. Yeah, that's rough. That's the kind of thing that just doesn't sit well with me. Because I was like... I was in the act of playing the Arachnoid Sentry. Like, and it just skipped my turn. How can it skip my turn while I'm, like, resolving a card? Yeah, the tilt is real. Tilt is real. How did I not block the Taric, though? Because if I block the Taric with anything, then I beat a Sharp Sight, right? I guess I thought it was, like, elusive or something? I don't know. It's one of those things, though, is that, like, Yeah, it's just my brain is thinking about so many other things. Blocking Taric does nothing. Well, doesn't it save me life? Did I have a 2 health unit or no? I must have, right? Right. I guess they play Sharp Sight on the first attack. And then I go Flock, and how it works is like they can Aegis, but then I do get to play the Sentry. That's tough. I almost just want to quit. I just don't want to play anymore after that. That's rough. One game, right? Just missed both like punted by taking too much time, and then also punted by not thinking through the last turn. Rough. Also, like, overly playing around Judgment, which might have actually been in the hand. Like, it actually might have been in the hand, and it's interesting if I actually attack with everything. Like, my intent was to attack with almost everything. And if I do that and there is a Judgment, like, my Farron can't actually block and kill the Pantheon if there was a Judgment. So I'll never know if there was. Right? Never know. Because if there was, it's like just a different game. Okay, we get this matchup again. I think they're going to figure out how to play the matchup. I really do. I think they're going to figure out how to play the matchup, and that's going to be tough for me to recover from. So we really want a Jagged Butcher. Really want a Jagged Butcher. Can we afford to, like, full mull for it? I don't think so. Death's Hand is, like, fine against Goat. So I think we can keep it, because it's a good round to play. And they have the attack token, and we do want an answer to Goat. Okay, we have... It's hard to call any... Like, you can't call any... None of the hands in this deck are, like, the nuts, right? But this is what we want. We want a Jagged Butcher. We want to attack with it. We want to play Mirai Warden, right? Block is pretty bad, but... does have its spots.
Oh, I've never met anyone
Ooh, Pool Shark? Could be good, could be heinous. Okay. We want to attack here. We have a Fleeting Flock, right? So, strangely, I think giving them a gem is totally fine. Because we're just going to flock this. I guess they could gem it right away. And then we just pass, right? So maybe the play is not to attack with the 1/1, but we get in 2 more damage, so it probably is worth it. The free 2 damage, though they get a gem for 2 damage, and they get the Pantheon level up. Yeah, probably not ideal. Probably not ideal. I didn't think that through too much. The 2 damage is worth a lot. Like, we're going to be trying to push lethals here on our opponent. And we might just be able to kill. Like, this is a lot of damage. Okay, we're gonna Death's Hand. I mean, we want the progress. If they have a Pale or something, want to just force them to use spells in the same turn. That's inefficient with Pantheon. So here, unfortunately, like, we might just be losing to a Guiding Touch.
nice to meet you. I'm Isla.
Okay, high roll. Ooh, attacking with that is super sus. Super sus attack. So, how greedy am I here? We block with a 2/1 to play around Guiding Touch, correct? It's so interesting because if I flock now and they don't have a Guiding Touch, it saves us 6 damage. But they probably have at least a Pale, right? Oh, it's so weird. I think we have to let the damage resolve. And then flock. I really don't want to take this much overwhelm damage. But this is just seems really strong. If we can put them at dead, there are no outs here for this, right? Where alternatively we're giving them options. So does this deck not really play Saga Seeker, I guess? And they play less Chain Vests, huh? Yeah, here's with the multiple 8-drops. This is the risk of playing this kind of version. Yeah, hush my Jagged Butcher. I'm here for that. Okay, we've got Sentry. Got Sentry. That is good just because it's like pressure, right? Pantheon? So, we can pass. We could zap. I actually like Arachnoiding on my offensive round. We might take a crap ton of damage here, though. Like, so obviously I think I'd rather stun the Pantheon. Because we're at the point in the game where they can't rally with Taric. Unless they have an exactly a 1-drop. Right? Because they can't, like, play a goat or something, or a shield guard, and also rally. Pretty greedy attack. Doesn't really accomplish much. Very punishable by a lot of stuff. But I have none of it. So we just take? God, I really do want to protect my life total. And if we blocked here, we'd probably block with a 3-2 to play around Guiding Touch. Reason being, like, they can block all of our 3s anyway. So that's like a nice trick because we do more damage to the Nexus. Yeah, we just take. We're so close to just winning with damage here. Might be forced to do a single or something. Okay, guiding is unfortunate, but so it goes. Yeah, maybe I do block. I don't know. I might die now. Might die now. Needed like one more thing to do, and we didn't have it. So here's an interesting situation is... So this is one of those situations where I think it's actually better to develop. Because units as developer punishers aren't... If they have unit plus single, then like we have lethal, right? Unless they have a Guiding Touch or a strike. So I'm pretty sure we do just play Fortune Croaker. And we play Croaker instead of the Zap, right? Yeah. Got Gangplank, which is not leveled up. Doesn't really help us here at all. But yeah, they might be light on units, and if they don't have a unit, this is much more likely to be lethal, because now they need 2. 2 strikes doesn't save them. Okay. That's fair. I mean, so it goes, right? And we just attack all. This is a really close game. I mean, they probably have at least one signal. We're going to have to see if we can spike. What is this on? 3. Yeah, we're probably dead. Probably dead, huh? Oh, we're not dead. I assume we're dead there. Just because of, like, single into Pantheon stuff. But the problem is if they single, even if they have Concerted there, Pantheon still takes damage, so maybe it dies. We're just climbing, huh? I swear this matchup is not that good, right? Like, they get one giant tough unit. And it's just really hard with Guiding Touches to actually kill. So we're seeing this matchup a lot. Is there any additional tech or anything we can do? I wouldn't mind having a Decimate in the deck. I feel like Island Navigator might be good. Why no Nav package? I don't know. Because you can't really play Warning Shot in the deck. Part of the reason the deck is good is because Zap either gets damage spells or things that kill damage spells. And Warning Shot ruins that. But Black Market Merchant is quite strong. So maybe not. You can't really play the Allegiance card, I guess, which is kind of makes Black Market Merchant is a lot less. It's playable, but it's really not like super playable with it's really not that good. What am I saying? I can't even speak. It's really not that good without the Yordle Grifter, is what I'm trying to say. Draw a card of it. This deck is not, so Proxidize has got an interesting point. Like, Nab is so good as a draw card advantage. That's why this deck is called Big Pirates. If people haven't figured it out, it's called Big Pirates because you're not... your goal is not card advantage. Your goal is to control the board and then close the game. In no state, I'm not planning on having more cards than my opponent. I'm thinking about this Flock. I think, strangely, it's as good as it may be at removing an MF. It's too slow here. Too slow. Bring back Old Grifter. I actually don't know if that's a good idea, to be honest. Because then more decks like this would be able to play it. And it's not, like, you could play it in non-allegiance decks. I think that the original design of Grifter was just... I think it was a cool card, but it was too easy for non-allegiance decks to play it, which goes against it. So we could have maybe waited for a Make It Rain. Jagged Butcher as a 3/3 is much better in this matchup. Oh, is this the seasonal champ? Is this a seasonal champion that I'm playing against? Ooh, Butcher's actually a good draw. I needed something to do here.
Looking for trouble? It found you.
So as weird as this seems, I think I just play a Jagged Butcher. Like, I don't think I want to Make It Rain. I don't think I want to do nothing. I could get tempoed out. If I pass, they're going to pass. So it's like, that's why Jagged Butcher's an okay play here. I don't think I want to Make It Rain because they could eventually play a Valor. And I don't... the 3/3 is nice, but I don't think they can ever attack with MF. I think it's... they might do it here. Generally a losing play because I have a lot of ways of removing that. Possible they do it. Like, yeah, if they do it, it probably tells us a story about their hand, right? They might have Ranger's Resolve, they might have Sharp Sight. This is really weird because now maybe they develop a Valor and we Make It Rain and then we don't have a 3/3. It's a really big deal. But that's just the nuance of LOR. Like, if I don't play the Jagged Butcher, they just pass back and we never get into this board state. This feels pretty good. This feels pretty good because now, all of a sudden... okay, they Ranger's Resolve. Okay, this is fine. This is fine because this doesn't have a good attack. And I could still just block the MF. I think getting damage on the MF is important. Yeah, it's very likely that... maybe they don't attack, actually? I guess they probably don't attack. It's hard to say. It's one progress, though. The fact that it's one progress means you always have to attack, right? Pretty much always have to attack here, because if you don't, then the threat of leveling up is, like, much slower. So the question is, do we gold card, or do we zap? Because zap sometimes draws us Make It Rain, which we've already played one. The good thing about playing Zap, right, is that Death's Hand, Ravenous Flock, and Scorched Earth all kill it. This is why you can't play Cannon Fire, by the way, or Warning Shot in your deck, just in case you were wondering. So, we can play Zap. If it hits a Make It Rain, what is that? That's 2 out of, 3, 6, 9, 2 out of 11 chance. It's still not even losing. Problem I have with gold card is it doesn't... well, maybe it's fine, actually. Maybe it's fine. Zap is a bit better into another misfortune because we're going to take another action of attacking before they have to defend. This might be better later on like a Genevieve or a Quinn or something, though. So I think I will play the Zap. Also, if we keep the Twisted Fate, it might do AoE damage at some point. That's really relevant. But what I mean is, like, having the soft action now, because I can attack. If there's a Sharp Sight. And now we're in an interesting spot. I think I do just Flock here. It does let them develop another Misfortune. But if I wait... this thing's on 2 out of 4. So, like, it could go really badly if they open up with a Bright Steel Protector or something. So we just kill it. Our Gangplank is leveling up too, which is super nice. We've got Twisted Fate if they have a Quinn. Or Zaps. It's too slow. We need to actually just draw our like Ravenous Flocks and things like that. But I do think we can afford the red card here. Do you think we can afford the red card? Because we can just start blocking the Quinn, potentially. And it does put our Gangplank on 4. And like, yeah, maybe we take a lot of damage this turn if there's a Ranger's Resolve. But I'm feeling pretty good about this. Next round, we can go Zap and Mirai and just go super wide. We just block. Snap off the block, right? Reason that we wouldn't, I suppose, is that we can draw into a Flock. People are saying Genevieve come back to 5/5. Yeah, I can see it. I think that Genevieve is weird. It's super busto as a 5/5, like because you can just play it in non-scout decks, but maybe that's okay at this point. Like Demacia, you know, Cytheria hasn't been meta for a while. Maybe Genevieve could use a buff, you know. That's weird. It's weird because the 2/2 trades with the Penitence Squire, but I think we block like this. I think we block like this. I really don't want to let the Quinn level up. This is a little weak to just not attack, right? And then like Genevieve could like quote unquote heal this. I think we actually can afford to take 2. We can draw a Make It Rain. We can draw another Twisted Fate. We could level up the Gangplank if we draw Death's Hand. Actually, we want to draw Death's Hand. That's not a Death's Hand. Not a Death's Hand at all. So I think we Flock. Opening Flock is really weird. Maybe we don't need the spell mana. Do we need the spell mana? So killing Quinn is a little tricky because it opens up lines where they get to play another Quinn, if that makes sense. So I think what we do is we just play the Mirai first. If there's a Protector, it gets a little dicey, but Protector is always going to make it dicey. I guess they could Genevieve. Wow, we've been rolling pretty well. It doesn't matter at all in this board state, like really. I guess having a 2/2 is always good, but like, yeah. Like, I want to kill the Quinn when they have less than 5 mana, right? Because then they can't just play another Quinn. Which, you know, I'm probably beating another Quinn, but it's just like one more thing to play around. This is why I really like this deck, is just the insane amount of decisions you have every turn. Because you're trying to put pressure on them. You're trying to... Okay, so I think we just zap here. Hopefully we draw... Honestly, everything is good. That's why zap is nuts. I still don't want to Flock. Maybe we just attack with this. Like, I don't need the other 2 damage from this other zap. If I attack with this... Honestly, I can attack with all, right? Attack with all looks pretty juicy, right? They have no good blocks. Problem is, it makes them Make It Rain worse, right? Does it make it rain worse? I don't know. I don't know. Game is hard. Game is too hard. Game is just too hard. Too freaking hard. I don't get it. We know they don't have a Bright Steel, or if they do, they tap out a Quinn. I guess we play another Zap. The damage to their Nexus doesn't really matter, because all we have to do is not die. See, now I'm getting a little punished. This is a little awkward. I can also, now that I have the Death's Hand, though, this is an interesting tidbit. I have a guaranteed Gangplank level up, so I don't even need to attack with the Zaps. So yeah, it's, I don't know. But flocking opens up Quinn, so who knows? Who knows what's good or what's not good? So this is a Quinn's Blinding Assault. So we kind of successfully maneuvered around that. Feels pretty good.
It's our time to shine, Valor.
The rope? Yeah, the rope is my worst enemy here. This looks like it might be a Golden Aegis, right? See, this is kind of rough. This is kind of rough.
Don't understand.
They know it's pretty likely I might have a Flock or a Scorched Earth, so I don't really expect any crazy rally or anything here. And I also, like... Do we have the read that they have 3 Quins? They do! They do have 3 Quins! It was so obvious! Oh my god. So obvious. Okay. I mean, we expected it. It was just very blatant that that was the case. So now we can flock. We could also wait, though. We could also wait. Like, why do it now still? It could rally this turn and try to go for a level up. There's no way they rally after double zap. And they did shuffle 2 Quins back into their deck. So, like, if we wait, we can just kill Quinn on the scout attack, right? Do we ever get punished? It's still Brightsteel Protector as the punish. So I guess we flock. I don't know if this is right, though. Because this feels like maybe they're going for a Golden Aegis and going all in.
Oh, I've never met anyone.
That is a little annoying. I think we're gonna win without killing that. Is gonna be our plan. Another flock is pretty useless, unfortunately. I guess Death's Hand. If they like Genevieve, we could Death's Hand. Maybe they just kill the 2-1s. I don't care. Like, Gangplank is so winning generally that we don't really have to think too much here. All we have to do is not kill the Mage Seeker and Conservator. What about the Death's Hand? It's possible we're supposed to Death's Hand. I just value having more mana, right? Like on this turn, I've got more spell mana. You basically, when you're ahead, you don't want to necessarily give your opponent the option to not have as much spell mana. Because this is like exactly why, right? We don't want to give them spell mana. We don't want to not have the spell mana. This doesn't even matter, honestly. None of this really matters. None of this really matters. I think we've won now. We have lethal on the open. So developing generally doesn't do that much here because they ghost block. Like they can block anyway. Wow.
I won't stop coming for those who wronged me.
Sharpside would hurt. 8 health. That's their last card. We're still winning, right? Wow, we played around 3 Quins. They just very obviously had 3 Quins, and we did our best to not give them second Quinn. Like, I don't think it would have... I think we would have beat it anyway, but Quinn into Valor? Like a Quinn... A new Quinn with 5 health? It's like they played Valor's out, but instead of having the Quinn, they just had a 3-5. They just had a 2-1. They just didn't have a 3-5. And that play, like leaving the Quinn alive and not ever killing it until they were at lower than 5 mana, just ended up being completely winning because they couldn't replay a Quinn. And then on the next turn, we're guaranteed a kill. We actually play tested when we moved Quinn to 3-5. We actually play tested her at 4 mana, and it was just, I mean, it was just too good. It was just like Poppy, reminiscent of like Poppy. Except the opposite of Poppy, where a 4 mana Quinn just levels up all the fucking time and wins the game. And you would never attack with it until it leveled up, so it just really ruined her pattern. That was a pretty satisfying game. I don't know. I don't know if I want to play more. When will you ever see Dreadway? It's a good question. So, the reason that you have all of this is because this deck, somebody asked earlier, like, oh, don't you want more card advantage? This deck, pretty much every solid, like, meta deck that's not just, like, Spider aggro has better late game plans than you. Like Ari Kennen with Ari, leveled up Kennen. Like Pantheon. You know, sort of like Zoe or Nami Twisted Fate decks. So you play all the fatty boom booms because your goal is to close the game. You stay even, you use your removal spell. Oftentimes you use like 2 removal spells, right, to kill 1 unit. So like the most important things at the right times, and then you close the game out. So that's kind of the point of the Dreadway. And playing a split is nice. Like, I would never just play 3 Farrons. I would always play if you cut one, you'd cut a Farron, because when they're similar, and when you have one of each, you'd rather have the option to play one or the other, because like Dreadway can help you stabilize with like Death's Hands and Make It Rains and like Tutus in play, so you really want the option. And the other thing is that Farron, like, it's weird, against control, you think that Farron would be better than Dreadway against like Darkness. I think it is a lot of the times, but if they answer the Farron and they're just at like 20 health or whatever, you don't really get much out of it. But Dreadway gives you the Gangplank, so it's 2 threats, right? So that's why you play it. You desperately, like, if you could, because as you've probably seen, one of the failure states you get into is having too many 8-drops in your hand. If it existed, you would play something that costs 6 or 7. And the only things, I honestly think the only thing you can play is fucking Battering Ram, because it blocks really well, and it's like a similar to Farron and Gangplank, but it's just too much worse than Dreadway. What about swapping GP and Dreadway for Swain Leviathan? So this is getting into like hot takes mode, which I generally try to avoid a bit, but at least I understand Swain Teemo. I like, it's basically, it's weird after the nerf. Now that Gangplank is nerfed, it's not quite as cut and dry, but I basically just consider Gangplank and Farron. Like, think of Gangplank and Farron, and Dreadway too. Like, obviously Dreadway gets Gangplank. I just think Gangplank and Dreadway and Farron, like pretend like these are Leviathans and these are Swains. Like, basically, I think that Gangplank and Farron are better than Swain and Leviathan, because Swain and Leviathan need each other, which is incredibly disruptible. Okay? Gangplank can win the game on its own. You level it up. Farron can win the game on its own. So, you know, I don't think that Swain and Leviathan are bad. And, for instance, and this is like I'm going really deep here, so if this is like boring, let me know. If this is interesting, let me know. Like, for instance, you do, like, Swain and Leviathan are going to be better. Like, if you, like, Swain and Leviathan is good against something like Lee Sin, right? Or, like, dragons. Like, Swain and Leviathan are probably more effective, right? So, like, I guess there are metas where you could play Swain and Leviathan. I just think they're different decks. So I don't think that Make It Rain right now is that good of a Swain, but it's good with Gangplank because you get the barrel, you get the level up. Swain does give you extra flocks, but I feel like what you don't need is flock in this deck with the zap to tutor the guillotines and the flocks. You actually need more Twisted Fates, Make It Rains, etc. And, you know, Leviathan, Swain don't help you with that. I guess Leviathan, Swain also, like, is that good against Pantheon? I don't know. I think just having Farron and being like, you're dead is better. You won't answer anyways? Yeah, I'm just playing ladder. today, so mostly just trying to have a day where I'm not necessarily talking about design stuff too much. Kemi, sorry about that. Timo Swain owns. I could try it, Timo Swain. Like getting... It's weird, because Minimorph is similar to Guillotine, right? Like you get Minimorph you get Guillotine instead of Minimorph. You get like Oncologist, which is just better than Croaker. You lose Farron though. I feel like Farron, well, it's weird. When Poppy was a thing, Farron was insane. Like I was just beating Poppy by playing an 8/8 Overwhelm. It's like, oh, you got a board of 5/5s? Try 8/8 Overwhelm. You have no healing. Yeah, okay. Man, I'm still... Is anybody else sad about that game where we timed out when we were about to win? And then punted? Like, it just went... It's just so... I just can't get my mind off of it. And I'm not even, like, a tilter. Like, I do pretty well about it. Just, like... It just sucks. I just felt like I've been winning the matchup all night, and that... Losing in that way... feels rough. And then not blocking the Taric. Like, I should see that. Because... damaging the Taric lets me flock it. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I didn't see it. It's weird. It's weird. I think it has something to do with all those, like, keywords. Also, missing that Pantheon had Spell Shield. I also win if I just... Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Well, the trick dead time is that I guess when you say unwinnable anyways, do you mean at the point which I'd already like timed out? I guess that might be true. That might be true. I think I will keep a Gangplank against this deck. Because we're gonna need to be a bit threat heavy against this sort of Demacia Bandle City control style. Because if we attack on that round, like, yeah, maybe there's a judgment, but if there's not, our decimates are just gonna kill, right? Our decimates are just gonna kill. Okay, wow, we've been high rolling so hard. I mean, I guess there just are a lot of 2/1s. Oh wow, we just always develop here, right? See, this feels pretty good.
Hello, new best friend.
Oh? By the way, if anybody doubted why you play 3 Mirai Wardens and 3 House Spiders, oh, okay, so this is actually a punish. Actually a punish. But this is the reason why, by the way. Yeah, the Bastion turn made me think there was a judgment, right? You can draw the exact same card. It's a Pokey Stick. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty bad. My opponent had a good answer to this, right? But we are getting damage on this. Let's see what we draw. It's kind of weird because we won a Twisted Fate this round. Oh, we drew a Zap. Okay, it's kind of it's almost kind of a tease because it's possible that Twisted Fate is just better this round. But this is a free card, so I don't think we can not play it. So what's weird is, like, we need to think about Radiant Guardian, right? About Radiant Guardian. Man, do I just play like an absolute mad lad and play Twisted Fate? I guess we can barrel into the Twisted Fate. Do it this way. Guillotine, it's whatever. So what if we open with Twisted Fate, red card? I'm gonna think about what I'm gonna do next turn. So there's definitely like the fork of like Lux and also Radiant Guardian, right? We do have the Guillotine to deal with Radiant Guardian, which is super nice. So I think what we do is... I'm going to develop the Gangplank. We're always developing Gangplank here. I mean, we're making it obvious we have the Flock. Whatever. We're going low value, high damage. Because we have the Scorched Earth, I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. I don't mind this at all. We go for this. We say, screw your 3-1. We're going to play the Gangplank. We're going to attack with everything. It's going to be superb. Not convinced that... Okay, that's a good draw, actually. That's a good draw, because we can go... We can use that to potentially damage a... I think they have a Lux? I don't even care. I do not even care. They could even Sharp Sight. Whatever. We're going Nexus. We are going to the Nexus. Actually, maybe no attacking is okay. Is it? I don't know. I can't really tell. I can't really tell. Actually, no attacking might be good, because if they open, we make it rain. Otherwise, we Twisted Fate. This is probably going to die to a Pokey Stick. They played 2 Concologists or a Group Shot or something. But at least we're getting... Okay, that's what we need. That is what we need right there. I think we make it rain. Make it rain. That's exactly what we need. This justifies our game plan, right? Justifies our game plan, which is good. So I guess they could have like a mini morph, right? So how do we do this? Just make it rain. And we just say, what are you gonna do? What are you going to do? Because we have the luxury of being able to pass here. Super nice. There could be a Shellfolk. Okay, so now we've got options, right? We don't need to play around some slow speed spell. I think what we do is we just Twisted Fate red card. Then we can Guillotine the Shellfolk. Yeah, attacking with the Gangplank might have been incorrect, because if I don't attack with it, it's got 4 health in this situation, which is much better, obviously. I think we red card though. Never blue card, right? It's never blue card. We're just that's why we're big pirates, because we say, hey, your deck is greedy. You've got better late game than me. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna just attack with my units. Okay, a little unfortunate, but you know, it happens. We might get double pranked on the Guillotine here. Good news is, well, it's kind of weird. We could potentially just play around a Radiant Guardian by never attacking, but they can always kill their own units, right? So, okay, they didn't get 2 costs on Farron, so I can't be too sad about that. They got it there. Honestly, I'm very confused by this, because I feel like when we first introduced the prank, it did not do this. But, you know, so it goes. Bit unfortunate. Do I even attack with these? Does it matter? Fortunately, I can't play 2 Guillotines. So I actually don't mind my Twisted Fate dying, right? Or do I? This has got 4 out of 6. Yeah, we're probably dead here, unfortunately. I don't know if we're going to be able to do enough damage. I guess we could draw another Farron. Oh, so maybe what we want to pick a card, right?
Gotta trust your instincts.
This never actually connects. There's no way it connects, right? Like if they block, like we're not gonna Guillotine her. They reworked it when Frank's about to get nerfed. Hey, I actually don't mind it. I just remember it working differently, and you know, it's I think I get some amount of grief from players from this. I don't always know exactly what changes go into the game, especially because, like, I guess how do I describe this? Like, when we're playing in dev, we are playing on future patches, and, you know, as bugs get fixed, they go into the game. Right? At different times. So I don't actually always know, like, exactly when something is going in or when something has changed. So I'm just saying that I am surprised by this because I remember playing on live without this before, right? So, wow, they're going to 2. Wait, so do I go for the win here? This is so bizarre. Because if I don't go for the win, I'm getting 1 damage here. But they can guillotine it back. So yeah, I guess we just take the damage, right? I don't know. I think we take the damage. Because guillotine, you know, it doesn't really matter, I guess. If they kill the Twisted Fate, we're going to pick a card. Because our plan... Wait, do we put the Farron back or not, actually? I don't really know. I suspect what we're supposed to do is put the Farron back. Like, we're definitely going to die before... What is it, round 11? Wait a second. So they get to attack next round, round 8. Yeah. Yeah. Put the Farron back. It's fine. I think what I want to do is I want to guillotine this next round. And then threaten, like, a lot of blocks. And do we play this? No. Just let them do things. What can be nice is playing out all your cards, right? Right, they have a guillotine and a Farron. They have a 7-mana Farron, so I kind of want to hold the sentry, right? Yeah, maybe I should have just guillotined this already. I guess I should have. My bad. And now it's too late. My thinking is I'm going to have a bunch of draws next round, and I want to have mana. And now it's, like, way too late. They have a bunch of guillotines. I don't really care. So yeah, I should have guillotined that. Weirdly after combat, because I wanted to get the 1 damage in. Okay, okay, this is 1 damage. Oh my god. Wait a second. We have lethal, potentially? Got lethal. Maybe they just play a Farron? So this is exactly why. I was thinking more like Barrel into Make It Rain or Death's Hand into Make It Rain. But we wanted to... We let the attack, like the Gangplank attack through. Like, they should have probably guillotined it to save 1 life. It's hard to say. Because every time they do that, if it was dying anyway with the Prismatic Barrier, like... Yeah, it's tough. So, yeah, this is... This is hilarious. So, like... They have a Farron, so we just wait. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Oh! Wait, what are they doing? Wait, can we win here? 7.
You're bluffing.
I've got the reins.
What is that attack? I guess they can't... They know that I have Sentry, so they can't Farron. That makes sense. Yeah, really suffering from not just playing the card. Really unfortunate. We have decent odds to just win game now, though. Okay. Okay, I like this play by them. They're playing around another Twisted Fate. So, I guess I can't... Even if I block differently, it doesn't matter, right? So here's the question.
Gotta trust your instincts.
They're gonna be able to prank the Make It Rain, right? So I could make it rain now. Yeah, okay. We're just gonna do it this way. I don't want to give them a window to prank the harpoon. So strange. Such a strange game. Definitely red card.
I'm always up for a round or two.
I mean, this is just win. Like, they have to develop a bunch of units to not just maybe die to this.
Something for all of you.
Lux dies. That's nice. Like, weirdly, they almost don't want to beam this. Okay, so yeah, we lose to that, but that's fair. I mean, there's only so much I can do, right? Unfortunate. It was actually a really close game. Like, I wonder what happens if I guillotine when I'm supposed to. I guess it's pretty similar because, like, the Radiant always gets to do this. Wait, they let me untap. Death's Hand? Okay, so they just let me untap. What does that mean? Means I just fire the Make It Rain, right? They could have a concerted. In which case, it's still better to play the Make It Rain first. I guess the problem... Lose the signal. I mean, we have to assume they don't have a single, right? I guess they might have had a single and are just waiting. Even though it seems a little sus. But I just don't want to get pranked, and they might not have a single. And Farron is less likely to get damage reduced. So we're just going to play the Make It Rain. If it's a single, like the Decimates, 2 Decimates next round. They've got pranks, though. It is a single. I'm hoping it's a concerted, just because it costs a lot more mana, right? Weirdly, I could also... Let's see how they prank. I don't know. What's the punish for Farron first? The punish would be, like, for instance, 1, they get to concerted the Farron instead, potentially. I guess it doesn't kill it, though. 2 is the prank is much less likely to prank the Farron on mana. Unfortunately, the Farron it's gonna get mini-morphed, right? Do we ever Sentry? Sentry, attack, into bank. Beats mini-morph, but just any blocker also kills me. Yeah, we just do it this way. Mini-morph into prank. A lot of different prank lines. It's gonna be a mini-morph, right? Oh, it's a bouncing bomb. Oh, it's a flock. Okay. Or it's a Noxian Guillotine, right? We still technically have lethal. Actually, this is just guaranteed. Oh, they're gonna prank me. They're gonna prank me, right?
Hold back the darkness.
Like, what's interesting is that they can't gain any life without any units in play. So if they just miss, we probably win. Miss? Oh my god, they didn't miss. Okay. I mean, they had a 40%er, right? At a 40%er. The good news is we're not dead. We're not dead. That doesn't do anything, unfortunately. Sharp sight. Okay. So, we're still alive. We just need to draw another burn spell, right? I guess we play this Decimate. Crazy how they use the second Guillotine. There's the Farron. So, do I Make It Rain now? I could draw a Dreadway. Make It Rain guarantees 1 damage. I think we've played all of our Make It Rains. We've played all of them, right? What happens if we draw Dreadway? We need the mana for Decimate, right? I guess we're at 8, so we don't actually... have the time to not... No, because if we pass, we can draw Dreadway and win. Oh, but no, if we draw TF now, we don't have lethal, unfortunately. Wait. Wait. This is lethal. It's actually lethal. I mean, they're going to have a mini-morph for a Pokestick, but... Technically lethal?
Dead men tell my tale.
If they decimate first, we might be able to beat a Pokestick because we can decimate, and if they Pokestick this in response, then we make it rain. Also, I can make it rain? Oh, I can't guillotine. Why didn't I guillotine that one turn? It's just one of those things where, like, obviously it's a mistake. I just really didn't consider. I just didn't really consider how it was gonna get pranked so hard.
Shiny. We should too.
This is game. This is game into a Pokestick, I guess. If we win the die roll. They could have another single, yeah, but you know, what can we play around? We're losing to Mini? They might not Mini this, though. They might not expect the last Make It Rain. But yeah, Poke me. I dare you to Poke me. Get out, dude! Get the fuck out!
This'll do for now.
They weren't even dead. What? Wait. The attack was not lethal. Oh no, the Gangplank attacks for 1. They just didn't have a mini-morph. They didn't draw a single mini-morph that whole game. My god, bro. Imagine big pirates. Imagine just going up against the Menace with my boy, my father, Gangplank. They said he was too good. He died. He fucking lost 1 point of health. Didn't matter. What a fucking G, dude. Look at these barrels, baby. Fucking barrels everywhere. We used every single last barrel for the win. Yeah, eat your oranges and you could end up like this fucking Chad. Oh my god. Wow. Fucking legend. Oh, look at the crew, too. The Citrus Courier, the Jagged Taskmaster. Is that the Jagged Butcher? No, he's not fat enough, right? Is that him? Wait, maybe that is him. No. The tattoos? He got the Bilgewater in the middle. He's got the bandana. No. Well, no, he doesn't have the stomach tattoo. Okay, it's not them. They've got a different colored thing as well. Wow. My hero. My father. Link. Yeah, they were. That's what I didn't realize. I was like, oh wait, they weren't actually dead. I mean, I had Make It Rain, but which was a 75%er or whatever. But I had the Powderful Explosion. I wonder. It's possible. I mean, that deck probably plays 3 mini-morphs, right? Courier looks buff too. I mean, Courier's buff as hell. I think that might be it for the stream, huh? What do y'all think? Should I go rank 1 or should I just vibe? I like the Citrus Courier. Because it's like unclear. Like I love like the diversity of the Bilgewater characters. It's just like whoever the heck, you know, does ship work. Like is he Vestayan? I don't even really know. how it works. It is a lot of oranges. That is the one thing about this art is like it's a lot of oranges. They're all like out and in the sun, and they're all like pristine, right? Feels like maybe they wouldn't exactly look like that, but it is really like I really like the color, so that's cool. There's also this one random orange. How did it get like that? This one up here? Am I not it's like an action shot. He's like putting it on his back. Oh, he's got a tattoo on his mouth. I never noticed that before. Or maybe it's not tattoo, but it's like dye. And he's got these little like he's braided his beard 5 ways and then has these little like hair ties on them with hooks. I've actually never, has anybody ever even looked at that? Wait, does he go fishing with those? That is disgusting. Like, does he like dip his chin in the water and just like eat fish? That is crazy. Or is that, it must be stylistic, right? That doesn't seem very practical. He is kind of dripped out. I mean, I guess that's kind of the idea. You're on Gangplank's crew. You've like looted a lot of stuff. He's got the, got a few rings. He's got this octopus saber. Pretty cool. And he's got the freaking belt. Pretty nice. Yeah, I know. Sometimes this is an art stream now. So is this the Dreadway? Must be, right? Maybe it's not, actually. Must be a different ship, huh? There you go. I mean, it does have a lot of these big black sails. Really hard to tell, huh? Like, maybe they have a separate ship where that's why there's all these oranges here. It might be like a, you know, what is it called? You know, like a cargo vessel or something. Because the Dreadway is like... There is not... The Dreadway, it doesn't have oranges, y'all. The Dreadway is a little bit more serious than that. Wow. Pretty neat. Oh, the orange ship always follows the Dreadway? I didn't know that. What are my favorite card arts? I don't actually know. It's a great question. Nobody's ever really asked me. Let me just look through. I mean, I just love everything about Akshan. But I really like a lot of the ruined cards because I helped, you know, by helped I mean like, well, obviously we have narrative writers who do the heavy lifting, but I help do the concept for them. Of like the whole idea of like the Black Mist coming across Runeterra and corrupting things. Like Riptide Rex being corrupted, like was, you know, it was basically like this card was one of my designs. Actually, this card was one of Max Perlman's designs, actually. But I was pretty excited about bringing back Rex, bringing back like zombified Cadrigan, you know, who's been possessed by Viego. Like we work with the narrative team to sort of create some of these stories. So like I think that, you know, Cadrigan is a pretty cool. All of these are kind of my favorites because I remember being in the meeting room when we like pitched these ideas, and then narrative just kind of takes the ideas and just really makes the characters feel like they're in the Runeterran universe and have a cohesive story, and then art obviously does their thing too. So there is so much work that goes into it after we do that kind of thing. But yeah, I really love the whole story of the Cadrigan and the Ruined Dragon Guard. The guy that gets possessed by Viego. I really liked all of the stuff, like Pod. Like Scattered Pod is being like chased by the Black Mists, you know, like bringing back Cloud Drinker. Because I really thought that Cloud Drinker was like a cool character. just that doesn't really get explored much. It's just kind of one of those old cards from our original set that like reminded me of like Sin from Final Fantasy X. Just this kind of epic like character that lives in Ionia. I'm like, yeah, let's fucking bring it back. And then also like what's cool about that was for the Cloud Drinker, this was this card was this was the only Ionia card in the release. Right? This was in the Ruined King event, which I worked on. So we really wanted to make, our goal with this card was to make a follower for like Karma decks and like Lee Sin decks and spell-based decks, because those, weirdly, it's very hard to get followers into those decks because those decks are so spell heavy that normally like it's just Eye of the Dragon and all spells. And we also wanted a card that was like, not only was just a follower, but was more of a win condition on its own, which is why you have the Enlightened Elusive. But I really liked what they did with this art. Like it's kind of crazy to see like the Black Mist actually encroaching on Runeterra, and like the Cloud Drinkers are flying away. Oh, same thing with the Frightened Ibex. Don't like this one as much, but I think it's still cool to see like the Ibex getting the Ruined Dragon like coming. Yeah. So anything that I worked on, obviously, I really like, because I like to see how things turn out. Let's see. I really have from the newest release of cards, I really like the faded cards. I just think that not so much the art. I think the art is pretty inspiring. Like I think that Saga Seeker like attacking Cam 4. I just really like the story. I just really like when I play Saga Seeker and he's like, I will die when I'm ready. Like, that's just, I don't know why I like that so much, but I do. So I really like the Saga Seeker. Really fucking badass. And it's kind of neat because I'm not really that into like the superhero like aesthetic, like generic superhero. Not that they are, but you know. Kind of surprised by that. Just look. Yeah, basically Saga Seeker, like, I don't actually, I have to brush up on it. It's been a while. I didn't work on, I worked on the set, but not on the initial design, you know, so I didn't exactly know what the lore of those units are exactly, so I can't speak precisely to what it is. But yeah, the Saga Seeker, I think, sacrifices. I don't know if the Saga Seeker does, but I'm pretty sure your boy's about to die. Like, I'm pretty sure that, like, he dies doing this, right? Because he says, I'll die when I'm ready, and his art is literally him attacking Cam 4 the Doubt. So, yeah, I guess we can lead it. Yeah. He felt his... Oh, he's got a name. I didn't know that. He felt his life fading with every heartbeat. So yeah, he basically, you know, he fucking sacrifices himself. Kamikaze. But he faces death willingly, huh? That's pretty cool. Imagine a 1-mana 1/2, dude. Sacrifices his life. What a fucking god. Gallium, what up? Oh no, we're losing viewers. People don't like it when we take a segue. There's got to be something that stands out. Let me just scroll through it all. Oh, you know what? I know I worked on these as well. But the Cloven Way. I freaking love these units that are like the beings that represent the moon weapons, right? They're so freaking cool. There's something about this like galactic meets what is it? What is it? Not futuristic, but like sentient robotic, like, but also animals. Does that make sense at all? That sort of vibe I really like. Like, it's like a constellation that's also this sort of like, you know, some sort of dark star that is also this, clearly like this is what gravitum, like, you know, this is what gravitum is. It's like this dark matter thing. I think that this is fucking sick. Am I crazy to think that? And then there's like, you know, I think the other ones are like less cool, but still pretty cool. Like Calibrum being this bird. Sort of like sentient celestial-y robot. Pretty sweet. They aren't celestials though, just to be clear. And then what is the other one? I want to look. Right, the fangs is pretty cool. I think that the Cloven Way, I don't know about y'all, but the Cloven Way really takes the cake for me. Yeah, this is pretty sick. In like the Moon Shrine on Mount Targon, there's just this thing, which is huge, by the way. RIP 3-2, because this thing is literally massive. But yeah, I really, and I never noticed this actually. Is that its brain, basically? I don't know if that's supposed to be its brain. But I do like this, where it's like, it's kind of, its body is almost blending in with what I think is the sky behind them. Like, I don't think that actually is the fangs. But yeah, you know what's cool about this, y'all? Here's some spice. So we have the flight for Calibrum. We have the fangs for Severum. The Cloven Way for Gravitum. Which, like, you know, all have, you know, are kind of lined up in effect. We have something for Crescendum, right? Or no? There's none for Infernum. Oh, right, we have the Crescent, not the Crescent Guard. Is it the no, it's not the Crescent Guardian. But yeah, the Infernum is missing. So that's definitely, we should definitely get that resolved in the future. Oh, the Sky Shadow. Sky Shadow is a cool card, too. This was in the Ophelio set. I was the design lead on this, but Andrew Yip actually designed this card. Right? Umbridge himself. Which is really cool because Umbridge does not, you know, he is like the design director on the team, formerly the game director, so he's not always designing cards, but he did make this one. I think it's a really neat card. Pretty elegant. I like that it's like a Nightfall card without actually being a Nightfall card. It's kind of cool. Works with Crescendum as well, which is like the whole idea behind these is that they're kind of like, you know, the beings that are these weapons like are representative. Hard word to say. Of in Aphelios' kit, right? Pretty neat. Okay. I don't know who made Yordo explode. Like you're kind of trolling with that question, though. I'm guessing. But yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty good. It's getting a little late. Maybe that's it for me. I like the ladder stream though. Did anyone else like the ladder stream? We blasted some kids. Yo, it is. I don't know why, but this deck is just. I like this deck a lot. I like it for a lot of reasons. Obviously, the main one is that you're kind of an aggro control deck, right? You are both a control deck, but also secretly you're trying to end the game. When you're trying to use that to your advantage, that your opponent doesn't really know that you can smork them, right? Like we did in a few games tonight. You have a lot of cheap spells, a lot of cheap units, so you are like every game you have a lot of decision trees, and they matter a lot to the outcome of games. Like, obviously there'll be some games where you can't do anything, and Ari Kennen is like actual nightmare, but other than that, it's really good. Also, people just think it's really bad for some reason. Like Alan and others have said that the deck's just unplayable, and it's just, I think it's really nice. It's a really nice deck. That it definitely could use some tuning. Honestly, it just needs more cards. Like, maybe next set when Bandle City and Noxus comes out, you'll be able to replace some of the bad cards. Like, honestly, Monster Harpoon, like the third Monster Harpoon is pretty bad because you're not that good at getting onto Plunder. And also, like, small damage helps you. You know, the Croakers are pretty bad. Yeah, to an extent, one of these 8-drops is bad. Like, they're not bad, but it's not ideal for your curve. Why isn't Gauntlet format permanent? I'm not answering too deep on questions right now, but I would say that, you know, I think that Gauntlet being sort of this weekend tournament is pretty good, just to know, like, okay, on the weekend I can play Gauntlets, and Gauntlets do have the Prime Glory system, so because we're using that, I don't know if they could be on all the time and use that system, but we could definitely potentially detach them. Ooh, Nightbot got James. Yeah, that one game, if we didn't lose that one game, what, we'd be plus 40 LP, I'm assuming? So where would that put us? Board? That would put us maybe on the front page. I mean, we just punted terribly and also ran out of time. I mean, this deck is really cool. Maybe I should try it out. Alright, that's going to be it. I think I could go more, but it's like 1 AM, so... Not that I'm going to bed, but I would like to be able to do some other stuff before I go to bed. Why am I streaming so late? Oh, for the EU peeps? We got any EUs in the chat or no? We won some close games today. Well, you know what? Let me look. I'm scoping out a fatty host here. Okay. EU, 9 AM, 9 AM. All right, I'll see everybody later. Thanks for tuning in. I'm no longer announcing these on Twitter, so everybody who just shows up is kind of appreciated. So I'll see everybody later. GG's.